Would you mind telling me whose brain I did put in? And you won't be angry? I will not be angry. Abby someone. Abby someone. Abby who? Abby Normal.
This is the Abby Normal podcast, here to tell you that you're weird, and that's normal. There's been a lot of talk about attraction and love on this podcast. Because, first of all, most of my school notes are about this topic, and also I find it kind of fascinating. Because so much of what we experience is universal, but also at the same time it's so individualized. We're attracted to who we're attracted to, and really no one can tell us boo about it. If you've been listening, you've heard several stories from our LGBTQ friends. You met Eric, who knew he was gay in high school and is now married to really the first guy that he dated. You met Darlene, who is happily married to her husband and came to the understanding in adulthood that she's bisexual. And recently, you met Em, who embraces her identity as a queer woman. But what these friends have in common is that they're old. Okay, not old, but they grew up with me in the 90s with the cultural restraints fully in place. So today we're going to talk to Dom, the USDA inspector that you met in the I'm Not a Pervert episode. He's 23 and has only come to the conclusion that he's gay within the past year. As most of us, he had romantic relationships in high school, and these relationships conflicted with his inner life. But this in itself is totally normal. Listen to this very confusing note I have. It's weird how I really don't feel the same for Mike as he feels about me. I mean, he told me last night if he knew what love was, that he would love me. Like when we got off the phone, he said, I love you. I just don't feel like that. How am I supposed to let him know that he doesn't know what love is? I don't know if I even do. This is so crazy. Yeah, girl, it is crazy. We're hanging with my sister Kileys and Dom. His journey begins back in 2011. Let's go.
And life taught me, don't trust that good to stay. And if it don't, then at least I know that love's the reason we are broken. But hey.
In high school, when I was 14, I started dating a girl who was a senior. So I was a little bit of jailbait. She was 17 and then she turned 18. So technically, like, we did have sex when she was 18 and I was a freshman in high school.
So there was a statutory rape situation.
Yes, there
okay,
was.
Go on.
But yeah, that didn't last. We like dated for like a little less than a year and then like we didn't do anything.
Did you like it?
Yes.
Okay.
I had like no issue with it. Although pretty much since like that time, I've like exclusively like masturbated to gay porn.
Wait, what was it like before that? Or did you not masturbate before that?
I mean, I didn't masturbate. Well, I mean a little bit, but it was kind of like that, like, you know, innocent, like, you know, junior high, 8th grader, like masturbation. We're just like, oh, like that one scene in The Notebook where Ryan Gosling's ass is like hanging out and you're just like, you put it on pause while your mom's like not home yet and you just like rub one out real quick. Okay. All right. or you find that Cosmo like 50 Hottest Men like magazine from 2004 that should have gotten thrown away a long time ago, but you found it under your under the spare bed and you're in the house.
I mean,
and you just kept that for years and used it as spank bank material.
Oh boy. What I am hearing from you though is that perhaps all of your masturbatory material has been gay in nature.
Yes, you are correct.
How did you guys break up? What happened?
We just weren't a very good couple.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it just kind of, like, fizzled out. And it was like, yeah, no, like, you're going to college. Like, do your thing. Like, I'm going to go back to sophomore year of high school.
Right. Were you upset?
Not really. Because, I mean, I kind of, like, was the one who ended things.
Oh, okay.
So I was just kind of like, yeah, this isn't working out. You're, like, way too controlling. Like, not like I was doing anything. I mean, I was a sophomore year in high school. I'm a child of a single parent.
It
Like,
wasn't like you could go anywhere.
Exactly.
Or do
Yeah,
anything.
exactly. And I was like the golden child. Graduated above a 4.0. Didn't have any alcohol until like college. So
All right, so what happened after the first girlfriend?
So after the first girlfriend, I was single until like senior year of high school. So there's basically this girl, and we became really good friends from sophomore year in Spanish. We'd essentially go on dates, but like, we'd pay separately. Like we'd go to the movies, like we wouldn't like do anything. So it was like that for like literally 2 years. And then there was just this one movie, and like we like held hands for like the last 30 minutes of the movie. It was just like, oh wow, like wow. As I was like masturbating to gay porn like the rest of like those years.
Okay.
Like, and even like throughout my relationship with her.
Okay. Did you understand what that meant?
I guess I just thought that I was like bi, but I was like, oh no, like maybe like I just like men in like a sexual way, but like I could like be with women and like in a like an emotional, like in a relationship way.
Right.
And then we like kind of didn't talk about it for a little bit, and then we like made out in like the park, and that was when it was kind of like, oh, we should like probably just date. So this was like senior year of high school. We both went to separate colleges, so we like long distanced. I can't talk. We long distanced it. She went to UC Davis. I went to Cal Poly. So that was like a 5-hour drive. We'd always spend weekends like visiting each other and everything.
So how did you feel about her during that time?
I guess at the beginning, like whenever we would have sex, it's not like I'd like have to imagine like I was a guy or something. Like it was like, no, like I could be in the moment and be like, yeah, like I'm totally into this. Like we'd both like orgasm, like it'd be totally fine. Like,
did you enjoy touching her?
yeah.
Where you're like, yay, boobies.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, well, I guess that's where I get into, like, the kinky shit. Because it's, like, I really get off on, like, making other people happy.
Okay.
So, like, maybe that's just my inner, like, submissive.
That's not,
like, that's
stop
just,
it.
like...
It's not kinky. I think it's heartfelt.
Oh.
It's sweet.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh.
You're a giver.
A giver,
I
yeah.
am a giver.
Okay, so you felt good about being with her. You enjoyed being with her on the
Yeah.
weekends when you guys met up.
Yeah.
Like, not just sexually, but
Yeah,
just
like,
being together.
relationship-wise. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, wow, like, I could, like, see myself being with her, like... But then as kind of just, like, the years progressed, it was kind of, like... I feel like I internally, like, avoided having sex with her. Like, I was like, oh, like, my roommates are gonna hear. Like, it's gonna be weird. So, like, then we started going, like, weekends, like, without having sex. So, like, we still have a really good time hanging out together. Like, we'd still go, like, to the beach. We'd still, like, go hiking and, like, eat, like, hella good food. And, like, we'd cuddle and everything. But, like, we wouldn't, like, have sex. 'Cause I was like, oh, my God, like, my roommates are gonna hear. Or, like, oh, I have work. Like, I'm gonna be tired. I basically just started avoiding it a lot. But then, like, we both graduated. So, like, I moved back home with my mom. It was just like, oh, like, we should, like, look into, like, getting, like, a place together.
Yeah, like, how many years had you been together at that point? Like, all through
Over-
college? Like, 4 full years?
Over 4 years. Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time. So, had you talked about, like, getting married and having kids and, like, future stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So, like, we got an apartment together. Like, we lived together for a little bit. And then, like, literally, like, we're not having sex. Like...
Have there ever been any conversations, though, about your lack of sexual intimacy?
Or your openness to other options?
No, not really.
Yeah, just doesn't, like, come up in conversation.
No,
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
I guess. Which, like, I didn't feel like anything was broke. 'Cause, I mean, I was still just jacking off to gay porn. Like, there's this one time where, like, we hadn't had sex in, like, maybe 2 months or something. We, like, tried, and, like, I was just like, I'm just gonna go to bed. Like, and I think that was where it was kind of like, oh, like, I think
There's a problem.
there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Like we just had, like, a really rough few weeks, and then, like, I don't know, I just did it. I was just like, I said I was bi, but, like, now that, like, I'm, like, it's been, like, over a year now, actually.
Oh, that was
like,
only a year ago?
yeah, in, like, January.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
This is kind of new.
So it is new, but,
Yeah.
like, So when like I kind of like broke up with her, I was like, oh no, like I'm bi. And then now it's like, no, like you just gay.
Really?
Yeah.
Everyone got a shoulder to lean on when they're struggling. We all got people to hug us.
Yeah.
So why do you feel confident about that now?
I guess before then it was kind of like, oh, like, you know, you're sexually attracted. Like you can have sex with like, I mean, again, like back then I never had sex with a guy or done anything with a guy. But it was like, oh, like, you know, you can have sex with a woman easily, like no problem. Like I'm not like imagining like it's a guy or anything. And then like still like masturbate to gay porn and like be totally fine. So I guess that's why I thought I was bi, because I was thinking back in like the past.
Okay, so what has happened over the past year that like make you feel like probably not bi, probably fully gay?
Like actually catching feelings for like men and not just like in a sexual way. Like obviously like, you know, the heart feels, the L word, and actually like getting into like close to relationships with some of those guys, and also like actually in relationships with like some of them as well. So
Do those heart feels feel different than what you had for women in your younger life?
I feel like not really. I guess I feel like relationship and feelings wise, I'm the type of person that does catch feelings like pretty easily. I guess have a very realist approach to like love and everything. I guess I feel like love is more of like I'm willing to make more sacrifices for this person over that person, instead of like, oh my gosh, like we're soulmates, we're meant to be. Like, no, I feel like that's bullshit. It's like something out of convenience. You know, you treat me a certain way, I treat you a certain way, and we make it work or we don't. And if we don't make it work, then it's not meant to be.
Did you think that maybe there was something more authentic though about like your relationships with men than a relationship with a woman though? There's got to be something though that set apart your feelings for a woman though than your feelings with a guy.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you would still feel like you could have a quote unquote like bisexual relationship with men and women. Like there's got to be something though that stands apart from I am totally gay versus I can have a relationship with men or women. I think it comes down to the authenticity. You're living out who you really are as a person. Would you agree?
I do agree with that.
So I was your age in the 90s. Okay,
I
so
was
like
born.
long time ago. And for us, it was like, you're straight, right? Like there's this tiny percentage that are gay, and that's probably wrong. Okay. So we've like definitely evolved since then. And now I look at like my kids' generation, basically. And at least in the Bay Area, like their sexuality is like totally open, right? Like my kid's pansexual. She's like all about that. I don't care about gender. I don't care about sexuality. I'm just like about love, right? And so I'm wondering, I mean, even just like using these terms feels a little bit outdated because I have that like pansexual mindset. Like we're all just like on a journey. And I've also talked to about this concept of like, she would say that she's queer, but she's like romantically straight. So like sexually she's into whatever, but like really wants like a male partner.
Yeah, like
over
that's
the
how
long
I
term.
felt when I was
Yeah, so I'm just wondering
younger.
like when you think of like all those terms and all the ways that people like add up and love each other, what feels right to you about like, I'm gay, I'm probably going to be with a man, I don't know if you want a partner, maybe I'm like jumping too far, but like what feels right versus other things?
definitely like being partnered with a man like feels right.
Yeah.
But like again, like I was saying, like before it was kind of like this whole like, oh, like I'm romantically straight, but like I'm like attracted to both sexes. But
Right.
now it's like for sure, like no, like you want to be with a man. Like I want to go to sleep next to a man, cuddle with a man, like get married to a man, maybe have kids with a man.
You're young. honey.
not
It's
there. I
fine.
don't know. I'm
It's
not
fine.
there yet. Still thinking about it. It's very on the fence, but yeah, like that's just kind of how I feel.
Yeah. And part of it might just come down to that. Like, what is the picture in your mind of like your future, you know?
Whether your kindness and the patience, you a dream that is worth chasing, and an endless inspiration. And if anyone's is different,
So I think we got to the heart of the decision that he made. But the journey that got him there meant a 4-year relationship came to an end. Since I'm a softie, I had to ask him, is she okay?
I mean, we don't talk anymore, but like we kind of tried to like be friends like initially, but it was just kind of like, just cut that shit out.
Yeah, after that long, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean, it's not like there was any like fear of like, oh my God, I'm going to catch feelings for her again. Because, I mean, obviously there's no sexual attraction there.
So did you have to come out to your mom?
Oh, this is a story now.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Scared.
goodness. Do you know what the first thing my mom said to me when I came out to her was?
No.
You know that's a sin, right?
Oh, mommy.
I feel like I failed you as a mother. But she's fine now.
Okay.
I mean, I just don't really talk to her about like my sexuality or anything like that. But like that does kind of leave like a bad taste in my mouth. Because like I did grow up very religious. Like my mom is very like pretty diehard Catholic. Her whole family is like pretty Catholic, but they're not like the type of like, oh, like you're gay, we're going to shun you Catholic. But it's kind of the like, oh, like, well, we're still like secretly like gonna try to pray the gay away, but like we know that's like bullshit and like it's not gonna work, but like maybe it'll work. So like we're still gonna like say a prayer for you, but like we're not gonna like we're not gonna like disown you or anything. Like you're still gonna feel welcome at like if you do bring home a guy to Thanksgiving or Christmas, like it's not gonna be like he's gonna feel like unwelcome or anything. Like
Okay, all right. They're doing their best then.
But it's still gonna be like that like subconscious like, oh, like he's going to hell. Like it's like, well, I'm gonna be living it up with Satan then when I'm dead.
So how do you feel about your Catholic faith now?
Oh, I am atheist as fuck.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So when did you, I mean, it sounds like you were raised Catholic. So like when did you decide this is not for me?
I guess high school or college is what sealed the deal. Not even like being gay, but just kind of the whole like, I don't know, like I guess I just felt like, why do I feel the need to like follow all of these rules and live my life a certain way when all that should matter is like just being a decent human being to people, which is what I try to do in like my daily life. So I was like, I don't need all of these extra rules telling me like I'm a sinner because I, like men, or I'm a sinner because, I want to go to the casino and put a couple bucks in, like, like that type of shit. So it's like, I don't believe in any higher being. I guess I feel like, why focus on being happy in the afterlife when what matters is like the impact you make on the world today. Nobody's gonna care about if I went to heaven or not when I'm dead. They're gonna worry about, oh, like, if I did some, crazy cool ass research and like did some cool shit and like help solve climate change, like, or if I, did something else that was really cool, like that's what's going to matter, is like my impact on the world today and how that can impact future generations and everything into making the world a better place, instead of, oh, like, is he happy when he's dead? No, like that's bullshit.
Like, hey, someone feeling pretty good today.
Dom and Kiley are both now in the dating game. Kylie's looking for a nice guy that wants to be in a long-term partnership. That is not what she's getting online. Here's her latest adventure with someone who tried to impersonate an unlikely character.
We met on Bumble.
Okay.
A while back, a couple years ago.
Did you like meet up face to face?
We did meet up face to face.
And then it fizzled out.
And then I would say maybe like a year down the road, we tried again. And, I think for a while he just thought like, oh, this is just something fun to do. When you're not seeing anyone, let's just have fun. Yeah.
He reached out. And what
So
happened?
he reached out, asked me to send him a picture, a current photo. So I did. I sent him.
Okay, so let's have one clarification.
Yes.
So when you were talking before, you were a larger woman. Is that true?
Slightly.
Okay.
So he saw me prior to plastic surgery and probably while I was in the midst of losing weight after having weight loss surgery. So
Okay.
within the last like 3 years.
Okay. All right.
He knew that I was in the process of having plastic surgery and was like super proud of me. I even like went back through like old text messages and, you know, he was like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you. You look great." Has always praised me, has always told me how beautiful I am and asked me to send him a current photo, which I did. And he was just like, "Oh, you're beautiful. You know, why are you still single?" Well, lucky me. I'm so happy you're still single.
Let's look at this photo. She looks freaking gorgeous.
Let me see. Ooh, damn. Girl.
I know, right?
You look like a freaking model.
There you go.
Holy cow.
So I send him this photo and then he sends me one back. And my initial thought is, oh, fuck. I don't like dealing with police officers for a few reasons. You know, my sister used to work for the police, you know, and I just... I'm sure I'm one of many people who have somewhat of a sparkling background. And it's just one of those things I just don't like to deal with. Police officers are just not one of my things. It just was not a good thing.
Not a good history.
I just don't have a good track record with police officers in general. I know all the statistics about police officers, so it's just one of those occupations I just try and stray away from. So anyway, he sends me this photo of himself and I'm looking at it and I'm just like, you know, there's just something a little off about this picture.
I want to see it.
And he
off.
tells me it says that he works for Clovis PD. So, and it's from Instagram. So I go on Instagram to do a little digging and I'm thinking, well, if it was legit from Clovis PD, it will still be there. Why would Clovis PD post an Instagram worthy picture just to take it down at a later date and time? So I go and look for the picture. It's not there. Well, I go and look at the picture again and I'm like, oh, well, his name is on his badge. C. Fleming. And I'm like, So I go back and look through the pictures looking for C. Fleming. Well, C. Fleming stands for Kurt Fleming, who is the captain of Clovis PD. The chief of police. Chief of police for Clovis PD. The current chief of police. And then I snap a screenshot of the picture. I put them side by side and before I even post that picture or send that picture back to him, I tell him blatantly, like, this is not you. And he sends back another lie and says, oh, but it is me. I currently work for Clovis PD. I didn't tell you. Like, I took some time away. I'm not in the fitness industry. Like, decided to like become a police officer. And I'm just like, this isn't you. And he texts me back and he's like, it is me. And I'm like, no, it's not. And so I put the pictures side by side and I send it back to him. And I'm like, dude, unless you are Kurt Fleming, the current chief of police of Clovis PD, this is not you. Your name is Rico and you are Hispanic. This guy is like straight up white. Like, there's no way. The picture is so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. There's like such a hard shadow around his face.
Oh my
And I even tell him, I'm like, okay, so even if you are a police officer and you're like not willing to tell me like what you know, if this is your real name or whatever, for whatever reason.
Oh my God. Okay, hold on. So he photoshopped his face.
He photoshopped
onto
his
this picture,
face onto
but
this picture.
Left the name badge on the uniform.
The same, yes.
So this dude is like
couldn't even crop out the Instagram part.
Couldn't even crop out the Instagram part. Yeah. Left way too much evidence behind.
He's not even operating with all the brain cells needed to properly Photoshop the photo.
Yeah.
And it fully looks like
clearly does not remember that I am a photographer.
His Mexican face is like pasted onto a white neck.
Yeah, it's just so bad on so many levels. So bad.
I love that you put the pictures side by side
Mm-hmm.
and then circled the name badge on both pictures.
Yes, I circled like all the flaws.
You circled that it's Boss's Day for Chief Kurt.
Mm-hmm.
And you put arrows onto it.
Yes.
Like,
Pointing out like all the things he left in the photo that would like point me towards like his complete fallacy. Like, you're an idiot. These are the things that you should have at the very least cropped out of the picture to make it seem even just like 5% more real.
right.
Which is not
He didn't
giving him a
even
whole
try.
lot.
He didn't
did
even
not
try.
even try. But then after like I sent that back to him and tell him like you're impersonating a police officer, tells me that my attitude sucks. Then all of a sudden,
Hold on. I need you to just read his responses.
Oh gosh. He tells me WTF with a laughing, crying emoji. He tells me you're funny. Can't take a joke or what? You don't work for the police. Why you tripping? I'm not impersonating one at all. Either you woke up on the wrong side of the bed or your attitude just sucks. If anything, you're impersonating, pretending to be someone who works out but really don't. My bad for even hitting you up. And then just like ridicules me, makes me feel bad, tries to make me feel bad, look bad. Like,
After
why?
calling her beautiful.
After
like,
calling me beautiful and like all these wonderful things and like, why are you still single? Lucky me. I can't wait to see you. Why is it when men feel rejected that all of a sudden that gives them like permission, like open season to just completely belittle us and make us feel lousy and like want to kill ourselves?
Right. And how the scary part is like how quickly that switch is flipped, right? It's like, you're beautiful. I want to be with you. I want to go down on you, blah, blah, blah. And then you call him out on a lie. And then he's like, you look like a 13-year-old and you don't work out and blah, blah, and like whatever.
Let's get some
That
verbatim
part.
speech on this
I
part.
would like to get some verbatim on that switch.
Oh, you look like a 13-year-old boy with your hair and your body.
Then Kylie responded, and your dick is small.
Oh, man. He told me that I was fat and sloppy. And I was just like, really?
Like currently?
No, apparently back then I was fat and sloppy and I was just an easy target. Sorry, I guess I'm not an easy target anymore. And I wasn't willing to play his game. And so then he felt the need to just thrash the hell out of me and make me feel horrible. But he didn't. I mean, I'm the one that's laughing.
Exactly.
I'm like,
We're the one having a bomb-ass funny podcast.
you're the one. I'm like,
Love is a complicated business. Be kind to each other out there. And don't put up with anybody that tries to tell you you're anything less than amazing.
At least I know that love's the reason we are broken. But hey, man, I'm feeling pretty good today.
This song is Life Taught Me by Caleb Lamone.
Say, fuck fear and fuck shame. Cause to me, those are the two greatest inhibitors to humanity's progression as a whole, but also on an individual level. Cause they dictate so much of what we think about the world around us and ourselves and the people around us and how we respond to those people. And it brings nothing good into the world. It just fucking deteriorates and brings death to every situation. And it starts with us. It starts with how we look at ourselves. And so I'm just telling you, like, do not feel shame over any portion of your story. Not a fucking chapter, not a page, not a word. Like, own that shit. That's your fucking life and you are brilliant. May peace be with you wherever you go. May love surround you and lighten your load. May clarity find you at every crossroad. May your journey be mindful and your mind full of hope. Peace and love.